He wanted to make sure that even if it was your 50th time there at the stadium, it felt like your first.
St. Joseph Mustangs founder Dan Gerson passing away this week at the age of 68.
A huge part of my life, huge part of so many other people's lives, and none of it would be here. I don't know what I'd be doing in the summers if it wasn't for Dan. I wouldn't be doing this.
He was caring, he was loving, the silver fox that would roam the stadium, but always making sure somebody had a seat.
Gerson, who brought the team to St. Joseph in 2009, started a phenomenon in the city, the Mustangs taking the town by storm.
Dan loved baseball. Doesn't get more romantic than walking into Phil Welch. But then, he knew what it would take in a stadium to be successful. And so, as well as with a relationship with the city.
There were a lot of doubts when Gerson decided to bring a team to St. Joseph. After all, the Black Snakes run didn't end very well. And Gerson heard the doubters.
Well, the first time we talked, I think I told you what I wanted to do. And I think you were a little skeptical of what I was going to do. I couldn't be, more proud of what is going to go on here starting Thursday night.
But he believed in what he was doing, bringing in Rick Muntean as the general manager, Matt Johnson as the manager, and building rosters filled with local guys who fans could get behind.
I was one of the first guys that signed on with it, and he told me the visions he had for this thing, and it was really cool to see it come to light, and that first night was really special.
The Mustangs' Mink League championships are well documented. They've won a lot, but it was about more than baseball for him.
I think he found the perfect niche to be involved in St. Joe, and the people there were hungry for something like this. He really invested not just his money, but his heart into the city.
He just wanted to better it, and a lot of people can talk the talk, but he would also walk the walk and put his money where his mouth was. And so, he's absolutely a man of his word. And
Gerson had no real ties to St. Joe before bringing the team here. Born and raised in Chicago and moving later to Kansas City, but he somehow made a connection with St. Joe.
I think reminded him a lot of where he was at when he was a kid and what he had when he was in Chicago and just the overall experience of it. He could see that in St. Joe.
Gerson sold the team to Kai Turner, the Mustangs general manager, in January of 2022. And while he wasn't at the ballpark daily anymore, Gerson kept up with the team, including this past postseason when Johnson's son Jace pitched for the team too.
I texted Kai and Johnny after the game, and I said, I've never felt as old as I have watching him on the mound. He did a great job.
Some people knew Gerson owned the team. He liked flying under the radar because he was always just proud of the team and what the team stood for.
It really makes me feel great that the town's, just reacting even with more love for the Mustangs.
With Gerson's passing, there's now a void in baseball in St. Joseph. The hope for those in the organization, though, is to make sure Gerson's impact on baseball and the city will never be forgotten.
he told everyone that we're going to be successful. And a lot of people told him, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. And he would say, watch me. And I think if we look now, that we could talk the talk and walk the walk.
He wanted to put St. Joe on the map, not for himself, but because he thought it was a very special community.
Chris Roush, KQ2 News.